Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to begin the review for Sakamoto Days Manga Chapter 75. So we start things off with them basically flashing back, and we go over the plan of how what they actually essentially are going to be doing. And it seems like they're going to be heading to a certain room, which I think is in the basement. But what makes this room so impressive, and I guess the facility so impressive as well, is the fact that two of the top students from back in the day wasn't even able to break into this room. So it kind of like ups the ante on, or like just raises the excitement for this kind of arc, for this kind of challenge that they're now facing, because we know that previously it hasn't been done for two of their best students. It is kind of hinted towards that now Sakamoto's got kind of an ace in the hole by using Shin's power, but I still think it's going to be pretty much of a challenge. So that's kind of how we start off the chapter. And then we flip back into present day where we left off last chapter, and it's just that bit of humor towards the chapter. You see people kind of perving over Sakamoto's wife essentially, but and we see Sakamoto get angry at this regard, and there's just a little bit of humor in this bit of the scene. And there's that bit as well where the teacher from that class, I can't remember what kind of class it was, but he recognizes Akira's surname and is like, yo, I remember. He remembers, I think it was it I can't remember the relation, but he remembers from back in the day. And then we flip over to a shooting lesson, sorry, rather. And in this lesson, they had to reassemble a gun and shoot it as many times within a minute. And it's during this scene where we find out, well, sorry, rather, we see Sakamoto do this for himself, and he's able to put the gun together and shoot 67 times. And he says there himself, oh damn, getting a bit rusty, getting a bit rusty. And then later, as the chapter goes on, we get to see the score of the top 10 greatest shooters of all time, and we see that Sakamoto is number 2. And at first I was just really just looking at the numbers here. So he did 67 today, present day time, and then his greatest attempt was 89. So not too far off. I was just basically trying to just gauge the rust level of Sakamoto currently, and 67, 89, 22 difference. So it's only a little bit of rust on Sakamoto from going from retiring, really. And that's kind of good if you think about it. You could say he's like back in the game now because he's had to actively do assassin things, but I'd just like to say that the rust is not there so much. And when I saw that Sakamoto was only number 2, it kind of got me hyped for this person who was number 1, because he does 96 shots within a minute, and that's quite a bit more than Sakamoto. But when I actually found out who the person is, I just deeped it a bit more, and it did disappoint me because I thought we would be getting and I thought I could be looking forward to another cool character. But when I found out that it was the guy, if you've read the chapter, you know who I'm talking about. It kind of just made me deep it and not really care so much, because yeah, it's all well being able to put a gun together fast and then shoot it a certain amount of times, cool, whatever. But it's just in that one field. There's other fields, other stuff that will probably it most definitely puts Sakamoto over this guy. And that's one thought I had. And the other thought I had is that, alright, cool. Yeah, he could shoot 96 times in his prime, and Sakamoto could do 89 in his prime, but who's putting together the gun first and taking the first shot? And then the reason why I think that's important is because if they're facing off against each other, it could be that split millisecond of the person taking the first shot to that decides who would die first if they were fighting, essentially. So it's that. But yeah, definitely finding out that, what's his name? Heiyuka. Suke, whatever his name is. But that was him. Yeah, just made me care less about it. But while Sakamoto is doing all of that, we have Shin enjoying school life to the fullest. And basically we leave off of him about to be in the midst of a fight with another invisible person. Now, you know how I feel about Shin fights already. He always underperforms. But he might surprise me eventually, so this might be that time. So yeah, I think this was a standard chapter of Sakamoto Days. I'm going to give it a 3-star rating, and like always guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel, but most importantly, take care, have a nice day.